Marrriedpreneur strategies in our legacy lessons. So, real quick, I think it's important that we do a quick intro. Since we're on multiple platforms right now, I am Sway Buckley.
What's up? I'm Owen Buckley.
And we are hey fam, like we're like in the middle of our intro. Hey fam, how you doing? And we're Marrriedpreneur strategists here helping other married entrepreneurs to launch, grow, and scale their businesses together with powerful and profitable structures that bring peace. Amen, amen, amen. So what we're going to do today, something that we have yet to do, yet to share, and it actually started from a conversation that we had yesterday.
Yeah, we had a conversation.
Or training, I guess we were doing.
Yeah, training. And we were talking about literally thinking in terms of an annual review, really.
Yeah.
And not just a review, but really an annual projection, even going forward. And in talking about that, it's so interesting because one of the points that was mentioned was, well, I know for every business or company that I've ever worked for, whenever there was a year in review or an annual review, or we were doing a year forecast or a 12-month out forecast, we would always come together, have a meeting. This was something that was standard and standing and static. And we would have this meeting. We would assess the last 12 months and make projections for the next 12 months. And so how much more then, okay, if we can do that on a 9 to 5 and with other businesses and organizations, how much more then as married entrepreneurs, because we're not running hobbies, we're running businesses.
What was that again? What, one more time?
We're not running hobbies, we're running businesses.
Right.
So how much more then should we be doing that as well?
Yes. So what we're going to do today, we're just going to share a very simple Marrriedpreneur annual, want to call a meeting review, that we use that is super duper simple. We're just going to like really give a high view of that because we realized we did a poll in our over in our Facebook group, and actually speaking with quite a few marriedpreneur couples, that many don't do annual reviews for like with each other concerning their legacy. And we found that most of the time that has to do with because they just don't know, like, oh, well, what is it? How do we do it? Well, what if we don't work in the same business together? What if, all these different questions, but you're great. And so we want to go ahead and address those today. So this is going to be juicy. We want to make sure that we answer your questions, and we're just going to keep it super duper simple. And I say simple so that it will be an enjoyable experience. I think that's another objection that often comes up. Is like, oh my goodness, another meeting. If you're, doing a 9 to 5 and then you're talking about doing an annual review meeting as marriedpreneurs, that may not sound desirable if it hasn't been desirable, on your 9 to 5. But this is the thing: when it's your business, it's your legacy, you make it all the fun, right? So fun and profitable and productive all together. So that's the big difference. And so we're going to just give you a very simple template. If you haven't used, or if you haven't done an annual review together, or if you have done one and maybe you want some more insight and strategies on how to do it in a way that's really going to be profitable and productive, even more productive, more efficient and effective, then this is definitely going to be the live for you today. Were you about to say something?
No.
I felt like that pregnant pause coming in. Okay, so before we do that, we're going to record. Well, we're already recording for sure, but we're going to use this. We're going to go ahead and use this as a pop-up podcast. So we'll be able to share this later on our other platforms with our podcast listeners as well. And we're talking about the annual review because now is the best time to do it and not wait to the end of the year, which we're already adding Q4, but not wait until November, December. It's a wrap by the time we get there. So we want to make sure that you all are well equipped for the new year, and you have time to think through this, pray through this together and individually, and really have a powerful time as you all are doing it. Before we dive into that, I want to make sure that you all are aware of the latest episode on the Marrriedpreneur Life podcast, which is doing business in the DMs and how to actually do that in a way that is super profitable and is actually fun. And so we wanted to give you all some insights on how we've been doing that and how it actually works. Like when you do it the right way, in the right way, meaning a way that honors people, that's honorable to other people. So that's on the latest for the Marrriedpreneur Life podcast. In addition to that, next week, for the very last time, we'll be hosting the free Love and Launch Challenge, 5-day challenge. So that starts next Monday. That is the last time for this year. So if you've missed the other ones, if you heard about it and you've been thinking about it, you still got time to be about it, but it's the last time. So go ahead. You go to the link in the bio, loveandlaunchsecrets.com, to be a part of that amazing free high level value training at loveandlaunchsecrets.com, specifically created and crafted for faith-based married entrepreneurs. Now, to the nitty-gritty. We're going to get into this.
So,
Ready to go? I should also say a disclaimer. May hear some background talking, loud noises. Anything else you want to add in?
machinery, whatever.
Machinery. Yeah, we're having a little bit of renovations done. And hence
More than a little.
yeah. I just said a little bit. It's really a lot. So you'll make, maybe you'll hear us up in the background. We have the mic right here and we've moved far away from it, but it still may break through. Okay, so here we go. Let's go into this annual review template, and we're just going to go through it as if we're doing the podcast, because we're going to repurpose it. Amen, for using our time wisely.
All right, so an annual review.
We got to start from the beginning, husband.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. There we go.
What's everybody? This is Owen Buckley
This is Sway
of
Buckley.
Marrriedpreneur.com. This is where we help mission-minded married entrepreneurs. Those of you who want to get more clarity, generate more income, but above all of that, you want to leave a lasting impact.
Yes, married entrepreneurs come to us to sync high-level systems with laser clear strategy to build out a solid legacy structure that is profitable and peaceable. Amen for that. So whether you are an indiepreneur, a spousalpreneur, or a couplepreneur, or if you're a combination of those two, you're definitely in the right place. And just in case you have no idea what those are, indiepreneurs are those married couples where both spouses are building individual businesses. And spousalpreneurs is where one spouse is operating and building the business while the other spouse is likely in a 9-to-5. And then we have the couplepreneurs where both spouses are building the same business together. So we, in fact, are both indie and couplepreneurs right now. Hasn't always been that way, but that's where we are right now. It's just important to know who you are so you can identify, wait, who am I? Am I indie? Or are we spousal? Or are we couplepreneurs? So whoever you are, we'd love to hear you. We are coming live from a couple different platforms here. So let us know if you're indie. Drop an I in the comments. Spousal, drop an S in the comments. And couplepreneur, drop a C in the comments as well. With that being said, today is a very unique day because we're going to be sharing a powerful tool that has really aligned us over the years. Now, just to be all the way frank and transparent with it, y'all, when we started doing an annual review or Marrriedpreneur meeting, it was rough. You know, we were training on this last night with our community, our membership community, and they were asking questions. Well, how do we get this? Or some of the wives are like, well, how do I get my husband on board? And so then we did the husband's perspective. But I'm going to tell you all, just so you know, if you haven't done it, it could be a little messy before it gets pretty, right? And that's okay. But as long as you continue to work forward and you move through this. This is why we're giving you this very simple template, because we wish we had a template. When we were starting from scratch, literally, and it was challenging. It was really challenging to grow together. So awesome. So we want to give you this tool as a gift. This is the perfect time right now, Q4, to be doing your annual review.
Yes.
Before all of the craziness gets even crazier or around you. That doesn't mean you're crazy, but like just all of the craziness that's going on with all the events and holidays and all that stuff. So you really want to make sure that you set this time aside. And I think real quick, if we can talk about the why, like why this is so important as marriedpreneurs who are stewarding the vision that God has given us and giving you tools to do the same.
Well, it's important because it means that you're taking it serious. It means that you're honoring this opportunity in this season to even be able to build, just to even get to this place, to this point where you guys have the desire, even if you say, well, we got the bare bones necessities, that's all you need is the bare bones necessities to really get started. This opportunity to build out together by having an annual review, by having an annual meeting, is saying that we are being deliberate and we're being intentional about succeeding, about making an impact, about growing and building out our legacy. And so when you decide that you're going to be serious and do this, an annual review is just indicative. It just speaks of the fact that you two are serious. And so you're not going to wander your way into 12 months of productivity. You're not going to wander your way into 12 months of revenue growth and hitting your financial targets. You're not going to wander or meander your way into doing that. It's going to require you being focused, you being deliberate. And let me say this too. If the two of you say, this is what we're going to do, we're going to build up this business to have the legacy that we're aiming for, but then we don't have these kinds of meetings, especially an annual meeting looking out the next 12 months, then what we are then by default saying is that we really don't mean what we say. We're really just playing with this. And so if this is not a hobby, all right, because as married entrepreneurs, we're not building hobbies.
No.
You don't have to build a hobby. You know, a hobby is just something you do whenever you have time, whenever it's convenient. But when you're being deliberate and you're aiming towards your targets, then meetings are a critical part of that. And an annual meeting really is the first meeting. I mean, you know, without having an annual meeting, everything the rest of the year is just sort of living behind the 8 ball, chasing your tail around in circles, if you will, like a dog. And so we don't want to do that. We want to be deliberate, because that kind of intentionality translates into everything else that we do. And those who would be your clients, who will be your customers, can I also say, they will be able to tell.
Absolutely.
And we're talking about preparedness, basically. This is the difference between being prepared and being unprepared.
Yeah. And can we talk about vision, even from like the biblical sense? I mean, that's where we come from always anyway. You know, when we are given a vision, when God plants a seed of vision in our heart for something, and right now what we're talking about specifically is as marriedpreneurs, building a business or building businesses, it is on us to, yes, we serve a sovereign God, but we have something called personal responsibility that we play a part in taking the next step and being prepared and making room for what we say we are believing for. And that takes consistency, and it takes work, and it takes persistence. And something seemingly as simple as sitting down and having a marriedpreneur annual review or annual meeting, it speaks volumes to how we are then stewarding the vision that God has placed in our hearts concerning not just our business, the marriage as well too. It's all of it. It's the whole legacy. But really speaking of how we're stewarding this vision, how we're stewarding it, and how we plan to position and prioritize our priorities moving forward.
That's it. So that's why the annual meeting is so important.
Okay, there we go. Now, the next thing, before we go into the super simple template, I think it's important that we say who this is for, because we did mention that there are 3 marriedpreneur types, primary types. And when we talk about these primary types, you may say, well, what if I'm the only one running the business? Or what if my spouse is the only one and I'm supporting my spouse? You know, we believe that if one of you is called to entrepreneurship, then the marriage is called to entrepreneurship, because you're building a single legacy. You're not building multiple legacies separately. You got married to do life together, not to do life separately. And so this annual meeting, really, it does not matter. It matters not if it's just one of you building the business, or if it's both of you, or one is supporting, or you're just starting, or you just have an idea about a business, or you've been doing it for a while and you're ready to pivot, but you just want to even pivot in a different direction, how you're building. Like, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter if you've been using it as a hobby and you want to transition to a business, then this is also for you as well too. And so I just want to say that, like, this is really for those who are serious about being serious about the business, this kingdom business that we're called to do, and to have a system and a structure in place that through prayer and through practical application, that you're able to see real results. Okay. With that being said, let's go into this super simple overview. Is there anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay.
I think they're ready for the juice.
Y'all ready for the juice?
Okay.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. We're going to break this down into 3 simple like overview phases for your meeting. There are 3 things that you want to be going over in this meeting. Now, there's a lot, leaving a lot of gray space for you all to fill in, but we want to just give you a template, a framework, something to start with and go off, off to the races you go. So the 3 phases that we're going to give you that we would recommend, the must-haves for your meeting, if you just want to break it into these 3 phases, they are as follows. You'll have the review phase, you'll have the real-time phase, and then you'll have the reach phase of your meeting. The review, real-time, and reach. Those are the 3 simple phases that you want to have at least for your annual review legacy Marrriedpreneur meeting.
So here's what you're doing. The review, you're looking backwards.
Mm-hmm.
You're assessing the last 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
The real time, you're looking at this very moment in real time.
Yeah.
You're assessing that. And then the reach, you're not really assessing because it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
You're projecting.
Yeah.
And you're forecasting based on what you would have assessed and how things
Mm-hmm.
are going. What over the next 12 months are you aiming for? Okay.
Yes.
So those are the 3 things that you're looking at. You're looking at review, you're looking at real time, and then you're looking at, and then you're looking at reach. Okay. And so with that being said, though there are 3 areas, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that you're applying those 3 overarching areas of assessing and
Mm-hmm.
all that,
umbrellas,
right?
If you want to call them.
Umbrellas, thank you.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a review of the marriage, a review the business.
I would say personal second.
Okay, personal,
Mm-hmm.
and then a review of the business. So marriage, personal, business.
That's how we
right?
do ours anyway.
That's how we do ours,
yeah.
right?
And it's the order is strategic too, y'all. We're not just saying do it in
Yes,
order. It's
yes.
strategic in the order as well.
Yes. Then you're going to do the same thing: real time, marriage, real time, personal, real time, business. And then the forward, right? So you're looking out the next 12 months.
For the reach.
You're going to do the reach, marriage, reach, personal, reach, business.
Yes.
Now,
that's the template. Okay. We have some more we're going to add on to it for you, but we want to just give you one. If you say a simple template, we don't want no pushback. We want to keep it super simple for you. It doesn't have to be complicated or super sophisticated or advanced in order for it to be to be workable and to actually get you results.
So let me say it again this way, because I think sometimes synonyms help. So we're going to look back. How did the marriage for the last 12 months? We're going to look back. How was things for you individually, personally, last 12 months? You're going to look back. How were things for the business last 12 months? And then you're going to look now, the marriage. Look now, personally. Look now, business, right? Then you're going to look forward, right? Marriage. Look forward, personal. Then you're going to look forward, business. All right. So the review, the real time, and the reach. All right. There we go. I think you guys got it.
Yes. So, okay. With that being said, this is just a framework. We definitely go a lot deeper in our Marrriedpreneur operating systems. But for those of you who are just starting out, and you haven't done an annual review with your spouse yet, or you have and you just need some structure to it, to some simple ways or systems to do it, this is a great place to start implementing. Okay. Now, when it comes to the marriage piece of it, if you don't have, let's say when you're reviewing your marriage, you're really reviewing ultimately what you want that to be is reviewing your marriage goals from this previous year. If you didn't have marriage goals in place, then you review your marriage, but then later on in the meeting, you're going to put marriage goals in place. Okay, but that you don't do that right there. You don't just say, oh, well, here are my marriage goals from that. No. The review time is the review time. Okay, and so be very clear about that. How has our marriage been? Right. That's for that time. Keep it super simple right on that. And then you all are both talking about that and going through that together. And then personal, you're sharing and this is important too. So you remain clear on what type of personal goals that you have. And if they don't get all lost and washed up in in life and with life. And so you're clear on that. So some examples that we've had for marriage have been some new experiences that we've done or plan to do together. Could be couples massages, could be cooking classes or cooking a new meal together. It could be doing a devotional together. There's so many different ways, right? It just based on your marriage, what you all want to do to get the results that you desire for to be your own marriage goals. And then for the personal, it could be physical, working out, it can be eating, it can be all different types of things. And
it can
then
be relational.
And be relational with socially, like having more clarity about having that social time with your people, your tribe. And then of course the business part of it. Now, that's pretty straightforward with understanding how your business has been going. What were those goals for this past year? And I know you want to talk about your acronym, your MM.
Yeah. So when you're thinking about from just the business standpoint, the MMOP, it's like
Yes.
MMOP, right? MMOP. So we want to look at our market. Want to look at our market. It's always good to sort of look at your market, okay?
Yeah.
Who are we serving, though? That sort of a thing. Then you want to look at your money goals, right? So you look at your market, look at your money goals. You're assessing that. You're looking at it as it is, and then you're projecting how we're going to do this, or what are we trying to. What is our goal for the next 12 months?
Yes.
And then the O, this is the operations. Sometimes you kind of look back over the year, you've been hobbling along, and maybe there's more an effective way to do that, to do what you're doing. So you want to look at operationally the business. And then you also want to look at your performance. Your performance, how are you performing in the roles that you both are in? And then how is the business performing, right? So you want to look at the market, you want to look at your money goals, you want to look at your operations, and you want to look at your performance overall.
Yes. And that you do that for the review, real time, reach. And that actual system right there really touches on all of them too. So based on where you all are, what you all need, this is just a very simple yet powerful template that you can use if you haven't started doing your annual reviews. Now is the time. Do not wait for it. Really put things in place. Take that time to honor the vision that God has placed in your heart, and then prepare for the new season, for the new year, for what he wants to do, what he's saying. Be in position, be ready for those open doors, be ready for those opportunities, and then be ready to discern too whether or not these opportunities that come, if they are supposed to be, or if they're like in divine timing, or if they are a distraction. And I think one of the easiest ways, I'm not going to say the only way, but one of the easiest ways to do that is to prepare in advance. And it's a lot easier to get it right when we are in alignment and not chasing all the things that come to us, but being very clear about making room for what we're truly called to do. And that doesn't just happen just by getting up and doing life every day and saying, okay, we're marriedpreneurs, what are we doing? But it really comes by being intentional. So set some time aside. I'd say if you want to do a few hours. We like to use this is a business event, so we like to do staycations with it and make it fun, or we'll order out, and so we'll just have a good time planning, dreaming, strategizing together. And it's taken a while to get to that place, just because we didn't know what this rhythm was. And that's the thing about, I believe, about marriedpreneurs as well, is we're so unique, each of us, in our calling and what we're called to do, that our path looks very different from the next marriage. So it's really important to have these annuals so you can get clear and you can get your rhythm down, and you can know how to pivot when it's time to pivot together as one, and not being on two different pages in two different books, but really making sure that you're staying on the same page and you have a plumb line to go with and to go through as you go into the new year. So it really is a powerful tool. And I pray that this is helpful for you all. Let us know and let us know any questions that you all may have as well too. But it has been oh my goodness, it's been a great blessing for us these last 8+ years of doing this annual review. It's been amazing. So hopefully this has been helpful for you.
Yep. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. You know what to do. Keep living
purposely,
powerfully,
and profitably
in sync.
I didn't know he was waiting for me. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.